All right, in this video, we're going to explore yet another SwiftUI construct. It's actually quite similar to what you've done in basic programming. It's referred to as the ForEach, and it's very much like the for in statement that you've done in the past. And I'm going to take you through how to use it and why we use it in this video. So let's get started. So first, I've started with the basic Hello World program like we've had before. And what I want to do is really something pretty simple, which is I want to have a list of favorite cities that are going to be in an array. These are just going to be strings. And then I want them to be displayed over here in a stack view. So if I give it 3 different cities, I should see 3 different city names here vertically stacked. So let's see how we can do that. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to declare a variable called favorite cities, and I'll give it 5 different names. All right, so now that I have my favorite cities array, those are the things that I want to display over here. So if I, first of all, I know that this is probably going to need to be in a stack view because I can only display 1 right now. So let's go ahead and click on that and say embed in a VStack. And the naive way to do this would be to say, well, I want to take this out and we're going to say favorite cities, and then I'll say index 0 because this is an array of strings. Let's go ahead and resume this. And now I have Chicago here, which is good. That's the first one, but I want to do the others, right? So what you don't want to have to do is sit and copy and paste this again and again. So I don't want to have to do this and then say 1 and then say 2 because that's just not going to work. If this changes, this list, that's not very maintainable, and that's not really what we're after. So this is where the for each comes in because it's going to allow us to iterate through that array. So let's take these other 2 out. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to start typing here right after the VStack, and I'm going to say FOREA, and as soon as I get to that, I see a for each here. So I'm going to select that, and then I see that I have a couple of different options to pick from. I'm going to pick this third one, which is ID and content. So when I pick that, the first thing or first argument that it's highlighting is really what is the array that we're iterating over. So in this case, it's going to be favorite cities. Then I'm going to tab over to the ID. Now the ID is something that is a field that we need to specify that will tell the system that each element in the array ends up being unique. SwiftUI needs a way to uniquely identify each structure that it puts out there, mainly because that's how it's going to be smart about what views it updates based on data changes and so forth, and it makes it a lot more efficient. All you need to know for now is that we're going to do \self. That is basically a notation in Swift that references basically this element that it's iterating through, and it's saying the item itself, based on its memory reference, if you will, is unique. Don't worry about understanding this. You just need it. So you just want to put it in there. And then the third is the content itself. So what are we going to have here? So usually the way I like to do this is let's just take all this out, close that paren, and then do an open bracket, close bracket. And then right here, we have to say what we want, how we want to reference each individual value. So in this case, we're going to say city in. And so what the syntax here is that we have the for each, we have the array, we have the ID. Again, so this comma with ID is always going to be the same for every for each. We close the parenthesis here, so this right here is balanced, as we can see. And then we do an open and close paren, or open and close bracket, followed by a variable name. So think about this as it iterates through these favorite cities. It's going to be the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one. That is going to be assigned to this variable called city. And then you follow it with the keyword in. That is just the syntax. So now if I copy this over and we'll make that city. And sure enough, we see we have Chicago, New York, San Francisco, Boston, and Detroit. And basically, it is iterated through every one of these and displayed them using the ForEach. And of course, if I added another one, let's say Cleveland, then we can go back and resume here. And sure enough, it's added Cleveland here as well. So this is a great way to iterate through a set of things where you only have the component that you want. The name right here, or what it is you're going to reference, has to be specified here as part of the in. And then you're going to have this for each. Again, the first argument is going to be whatever you're iterating over. You're always going to follow it with this, so don't get too hung up on that syntax. You're just going to follow it with that. And then you have your open and close bracket, and then your variable for what is coming in on every iteration, how you're going to reference that specific iteration, and then reference it here. And that's for each.